Hi, I'm Corey Lamont, and I'm a health coach working for my own company called United Healing Arts. And in this short video, this audio video, I will be discussing, in my opinion, the top 7 most effective nootropics. And if you haven't heard of nootropics before, basically it's mind-enhancing, cognitive-enhancing, smart drugs, and nutrients. And so it's a highly fascinating subject. I hope you comment and like my video if you're interested, and subscribe if you want to hear or see more videos on this subject. First of all, I am going to include a couple of links in the description. And firstly, I do health coaching consultations over the internet using video chats. I have a slideshow with superfoods. It also goes over the most common nutritional deficiencies and then the most common diseases of aging. And in my practice, I give recommendations for anti-aging supplements, nootropics, SARMs, peptides, biohacking, and more. So I will leave in the description. I will leave a link. I will put a link for buying the $60 per hour health consultation. It's worth the money, and a lot of doctors or health coaches don't have the kind of information I've researched heavily in the last 6 years of life. So if you're interested, comment and I can answer any questions you have. Also, I will be leaving a link for a $10 donation button on the Get Helium website, and that will fund me being able to get my website back online. Currently, all I have is basically a landing page, a digital portfolio a little bit, and so I actually lost my website because I let it lapse accidentally, and I lost all my files for the website. So I would appreciate it if you're interested in my work and my research, and developing solutions for people to biohack and have optimal human performance and optimal biological fitness, that you would donate $10 or more to United Healing Arts and to my research. Okay, so now we will get into the top 7 nootropics. First of all, we have Magnesium-Threonate. And this is a special kind of magnesium salt that was invented at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And basically, what it does is it is preferentially taken up into your brain instead of other organs and tissues in the body. And what it does is it increases the synapse density in our brains. So synapses are the small little gaps between the axons and dendrites of our neurons, wherein sodium, calcium, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and all of these other neurotransmitters and ions flow across the synapse gap between neurons, and are a part of supporting the electromagnetic activity of your brain. So increasing synapse density is one of the important ways we can actually keep our brain young and rejuvenated and basically learn more effectively. It's also basically anti-inflammatory to your brain, so getting rid of any excess immune activation in your brain and oxidation and so on. So magnesium is involved in, I believe it is about over 600 chemical reactions in the body, activates a ton of our DNA epigenetically, and so magnesium is very important. About 80% of the population worldwide, or I'm not sure if it's in the United States or worldwide, but 80%, the statistic I saw, are deficient in magnesium, basically because of not getting enough green leafy vegetables, broccoli, and so on. And so, very important mineral to get, and this one, specifically Magnesium-Threonate, is uptaken into your brain and increases synapse density. And so, synapse density, the more synapse density you have, it's going to help with neuroplasticity, or basically the ability of your brain to rewire itself and for you to learn new information. Secondly, we have green tea, full of polyphenols, antioxidants, L-theanine, and and some other chemicals that are really good for calming the mind, and anti-inflammatory. And so the two kinds of green tea I recommend are either getting Tai Chi Green Tea, which actually is refrigerated in their warehouse. So when it comes to your house, it's actually a fresh green tea leaves, and so uh, should have more available nutrients still, instead of being dried out and aged. They keep it fresh. Secondly, if you don't want to pay for the Tai Chi green tea, you can find an economical matcha green tea, which is a powderized green tea. Okay, so next we actually have one of the racetams, the strongest racetam known to man. If you're not familiar with racetams yet, they're a whole family of drugs, smart drugs, invented in Russia a few decades ago. And they actually were apparently developed for their cosmonaut program in space to keep their astronauts alert and focused on the job. And so there is piracetam, aniracetam, oxiracetam, pramiracetam, and a couple others. But Noopept is actually about 1,000 times stronger than piracetam, so you only have to take a very small amount. The recommended dosage that I would recommend and other people recommend is about 20 milligrams per dose. And you can take it daily if you want to. You should cycle it most likely um, weekends or whenever you don't need it as much, because you don't want to form a dependency. And what Noopept does is it just really increases your alertness and attention. It actually brightens the colors in your vision, increases appreciation of music. It's good for overall cognitive support. Now, because it's activating your brain so much, it kind of depletes a chemical in your brain called choline. Now, you can get choline from eggs, especially raw eggs. If you're careful and you wash your eggs and you have free-range eggs. However, it's much better to get a supplement that is a source of choline. A supplement I recommend called Centrophenoxine. And so Centrophenoxine is a very powerful antioxidant. And when you take Centrophenoxine, it actually is calming to your mind. And importantly, it gets rid of any brain fog you may have. In most people, in personal experience and in what other people have written about their experiences with centrophenoxine. So centrophenoxine is supportive of Noopept. Alternatively, there are other sources of choline such as alpha GPC, but I would recommend the centrophenoxine because it's so good at detoxifying, and it's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and clears brain fog. Now, next we have a stack or a supplement called CILTEP, CILTEP, and it stands for chemically induced long-term potentiation. And so long-term potentiation is, let's see, basically it's where when you have neurons fire in your brain to have that potentiation. Well, long-term potentiation is basically a longer chain of neurons firing in sequence with each other. More neurons interacting and uh, and wiring together with each other. So it allows you to have a bigger picture view. It allows you to think of 5 to 10 concepts at one time. And importantly, in my opinion, it allows you to think and cognize how they all interrelate with each other. So in my studies, in my research, I research a lot of biochemical pathways in the body, um, neurochemistry and chemistry of the body, and I research heavily into the different organ systems, the different tissues, diseases and syndromes, symptoms, all the different foods and the nutrients, the polyphenols, the different vitamins and minerals, all the different chemicals that make up foods, and then how they interact on the molecular level when they're metabolized in the metabolism into different chemicals. Every chemical or substance is, in essence, transformed into different molecules in these networks or chains of metabolism called metabolic pathways. And so when something acts on a receptor site or another chemical and turns into different chemicals, that's a mechanism of action. So like drugs, pharmaceuticals, um, or supplements, they have mechanisms of action, and it's important to understand these mechanisms of action if you're going to be an informed user of nootropics or anti-aging supplements, or even when you're eating a healthy, varied diet. It's helpful to know the mechanisms of action. An example of pathways, metabolic pathways, would be like the Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle, very important in the mitochondria, creating ATP or adenosine triphosphate, the energy currency of the body. And so another example would be, for instance, 5-HTP or 5-hydroxytryptophan being converted into serotonin or melatonin. Both of those can be things that 5-HTP are converted into. So this CILTEP, the main active ingredient is actually artichoke extract, and so it's very interesting. Allows you to think of 5 to 10 concepts at one time and how they all interrelate with each other. I love Noopept and CILTEP in combination, of course, with the Centrophenoxine. Um, Another thing we can use is actually a vitamin B12 skin patch. This can be obtained from the Life Extension Foundation, and so you wear one on your arm or anywhere on the skin for about a week, and then you replace it with a different skin patch, and so it absorbs through the skin, because vitamin B12 can be kind of difficult to absorb in the body, whether through supplements or foods. It's much more bioavailable through a skin patch or an injection, but it's convenient with a skin patch. And so B12 is very important for cognition, memory, and energy, especially memory and energy. When I've used a vitamin B12 skin patch in the past, memories from long ago were surfacing in my consciousness. Energy was through the roof, and I felt great. So it's a nootropic in my opinion. Next, we have a way of improving the efficiency of the mitochondria. And we do this with a substance called PQQ. We can also get this from the Life Extension Foundation. It improves mitochondrial efficiency and biogenesis. Biogenesis is a term to describe the generation of new mitochondria in the cells of the body. Mitochondria deterioration and everything is basically what happens when you age. It's one of the main causes of aging. It can happen through oxidative stress and just different things, but it causes aging and fatigue and reduced energy levels in the body. We can also see that happening from reduced levels of stem cells in our bone marrow and reduced status of them proliferating and differentiating in the body. Anyway, this PQQ, since your heart and your brain they work together, by the way, but both the heart and your brain are very energy intensive. Since that's the case, anything that we use to improve our mitochondrial efficiency, the energy powerhouses of the cell, to improve that efficiency, that's going to help improve the amount of energy we can extract and generate in our brain. Now, if you didn't know, mitochondria actually extract energy basically with the help of the electron transport chain, the breaking down of foods into and sunlight into generating electron flow across the cell membrane, or the mitochondrial membrane rather. And so high voltages of electricity can be generated with this electron gradient. They actually also have proton pumps, so they're using not only electrons but also protons, interestingly enough. Just as an aside, if you were to purchase an infrared laser, infrared and red, mainly infrared lasers, and shine those on the body, directly on the skin. Now they also increase the efficiency and health of your mitochondria. As an aside, they also improve wound healing in things like hurt joints, like knee joints. The NFL is actually using these infrared lasers to improve the speed of healing in injured knees in NFL football players. So say it might normally take 2 months or 6 weeks or something for the knee to heal fully. This can actually happen in maybe 4 weeks or 1 month instead, with the help of red light infrared lasers. Now, the next supplement is actually an herb. The next nootropic is an herb, Bacopa Monnieri. Now, this is for memory support, and I will say that this can take up to 90 days to see results in memory. One interesting fact about Bacopa extract is that it's used very commonly in India, actually given to babies in India, to prevent mental retardation. In older adults or children who are healthy, it actually boosts your memory capacity and is good for your brain. Lastly, for our nootropics today, I'll cover Ginkgo Biloba. This is also good for memory support. So all of these supplements or smart drugs, Noopept being a smart drug, are very helpful for our cognitive capacity and our ability to reason, to study, to learn new information. Whether you're a high school student, now you do want to be careful if you're under 18 and consult your doctor, your parents, etc., and be well informed with online studies scientific research papers, to be exact. Um, and you want to be well informed about what you're potentially taking. College students as well. Anybody with a highly demanding job, executives, CEOs, programmers, architects, musicians, uh, artists, website designers, uh, anybody, writers, bloggers, anybody like this who is very creative, studies, scientists especially, research scientists, doctors, all of these people potentially can benefit heavily from nootropic use because they're preventative of cognitive decline as we age, and they're enhancing uh, and potentiating of going beyond where we are currently with our cognitive capacity. So, in my opinion, it's a highly interesting subject. I'm actually going to make another video right after I make this video, or this audio, where I'm going to discuss the top most effective anti-aging supplements, and that I have, I think, 11 or 12 or 13 different substances or supplements that are very good for anti-aging. So I encourage you to look out for that when that drops on YouTube. So please like, please subscribe, comment, um, and whatever if you're interested in this topic. And I'd love to hear comments. If you can support my research development and my website development coming back online, please give $10 or more on the Get Helium link. I'll link in the description. If you're interested in a video chat wherein I health coach you with not only diet and everything, but supplements, anti-aging supplements, nootropics, peptides, SARMs, biohacking, all this. There will also be a link for that in the description. You can follow me on Facebook, finding Corey Lamont, the health coach. You can also follow my company page on Facebook under the name United Healing Arts. And so there's a few posts on there, not a whole lot at this point, but we can get in contact and see what information is there, and if anything will be helpful. I hope you enjoyed this audio video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and cheers to biohacking and optimization.